What some people might regard as a somewhat premature heads up for Christmas Day. That's Paul Simon. That's from his new album, which is called So Beautiful or So What. That's a track called Getting Ready for Christmas Day, featuring a long-dead preacher by the name of the Reverend J.M. Gates, who features in this album. Excellent. Very, very good. Good morning. Everything okay this end? Who's with us today?
So Beautiful or So What?
Yes.
Is that what it's called? That's the title. That's the album title.
Yes.
Or So What?
So Beautiful or So What? Dear Gerry, just to keep you informed, on Saturday night last, about 5 p.m, this is a man writes to me about Beatles Fish and Chip Shop. Whilst I was about my business on the Woodstock Road in East Belfast, I observed a rather portly gentleman, a tortured soul, pace the footpath outside Beatles Fish and Chip Shop on the Woodstock Road in East Belfast. It was your mate, Stephen Nolan. As he fought with his cravings and demons, I felt sorry for him, but there was nothing I could do to help him. The fish shop hadn't opened yet. He had to confront his demons on his own, and this he did by when it opened, he went in and stuffed his face. I hope this information is useful to you. This is the Stephen Nolan Show, and this is the off switch. Today, the people communicate with me because they feel as if they can talk to me, because they sense in me a sympathetic soul.
I watched you on television on Friday night.
What was I doing on Friday night on television? I wasn't aware that I was on at all.
Yes, you were.
What was I on?
You were on the best of Balmoral.
B&B. Best of Balmoral. So there was no best of Balmoral. It's just cows eating.
Jackie and Sarah Travis.
Jackie and I. Oh, that's right. Jackie and I did a small turn.
Yes. And Jackie,
but I didn't see the programme. How long was the programme itself?
Too long.
Too long? How long? An hour? An hour and a half? 2 hours?
It was dreadful.
Now stop it.
I have to say
Stop
so.
it.
No, I have to say that.
Listen, Jackie and I are good friends. I don't want you sitting there criticising Jackie.
I have to say it.
What was wrong with the programme? I didn't see it.
No, I'm sorry.
How could it have been bad? I was in it. What was I like in it?
You were
Dreadful?
excellent.
Was I good?
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
Great on it. Oh, man.
But the rest of it, you didn't like the rest of it. But you see, you don't like animals.
I do like animals.
You don't.
I do like animals.
You hate cats.
Poor Jackie had a table in front of him that was must have been a 3-legged table. It's supposed to be 4 legs. You understand?
That's one of the wobbly tables, was it?
Yeah. Instead of somebody fixing
Nobody
the table.
fixed it.
No, nobody fixed it.
Did it wobble the whole way through the programme?
Yes.
And it was obviously seen to be wobbling.
Absolutely.
I regard that. That's like something
Jackie looked bored.
That's like something Ken would tolerate. You know, Ken doesn't care what we do. If you had a wobbly table in here, it would remain wobbly until Earth freezed over, or indeed hell freezed over, which is one of the
But you didn't say it. It was repeated last night at 6 o'clock.
I must watch that on iPlayer.
Please do.
No, you shouldn't criticise BBC programmes. This is the hand that feeds you.
I know.
Be very careful. There could be people listening.
Warts and all, the BBC often say.
Warts and all. Well, you see, this programme has been renowned throughout the country for its candour and its truth and its inability to tell a lie. Yeah. And you know, but I never usually associated that with you, because you always lie and you always say things that aren't true because you think that people might want to hear them. I, on the other hand, am a beacon of truthfulness. I cannot let a lie pass through my lips. I must watch it, and I will come back and I will give you my verdict, like Cheryl Cole. It's very good. Today, says Michelle, my sister-in-law told me about her son accidentally hitting her other son with a belt buckle and cutting the back of his head. No laughing matter, I thought, but I found her description of the wound hilarious. She said she gave him a money box. I hadn't heard that one before. It must be one of those terrorist terms. I haven't heard that either. Well, says a man who writes, Mr. Teeny, well, the torture of the Eurovision Song Contest, the third-rate songs, ridiculous costumes and laborious counting of the votes is over for another year. It doesn't matter where you are. I stopped watching the Eurovision about 4 years ago, and I realised that it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is where your country is. If you're in the European landmass, you have a better chance. So everybody hates England. Everybody hates Ireland. So that's why they don't vote for them. That's as simple as that. Thankfully, Jedward did not win, as in the spirit of North-South cooperation, they may have held next year's show in the King's Hall. The votes wouldn't have been counted until Monday. What would Noel Thompson talk about for 2 days to fill the dead air? Noel Thompson, lying in bed at night, must rerun that election over in his head. Remember, he had to talk for 6 hours.
And it's great.
Nothing.
Yes, we talked about that before. Hats off to Noel.
Well, you see,
and all the team.
That's not easy.
No, hats off to him.
That's not easy.
Congratulations.
And speaking of North-South...
You see, we give credit where credit's due.
We do.
A moment or two ago, I was saying that programme wasn't very good.
So you're worried about it?
No, but there you are.
No, you said to yourself, I better not do that. I better say something nice about a BBC
No, but
programme.
there you are. We're now saying the BBC programme's good.
Absolutely, because,
Warts and all.
It is very difficult for a man to sit there and talk for 6 hours about nothing.
Yes.
It is, because look, we do it every day, but you only do it for an hour and a half. But you see, it's different on TV, and the people are looking at you. I mean, if they saw us, look at the state of me today. I'm sitting here in my vest.
You're all right looking.
Am I?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not used to praise.
Nothing
Thank
wrong
you.
with you.
Am I not? Thank you. That's really nice. I'm not used to that. Thank you very much for your kindness.
Not at all.
It goes a long way, you know. And speaking of North-South cooperation, here's a very interesting little article in the paper yesterday. Pat Kenny, late of the Late Late Show, and Ryan Tuberty, soon probably to be late of the Late Late Show.
Where's he going?
Well, apparently he's doing a summer stint taking over from Graham Norton on Radio 2 for 6 weeks. Yes, he's going to take over from, but for God's sake, Kilty did that the last time, so it's no big deal. So he's doing that. And Pat Kenny is giving him advice. And one of the interesting things about this, I haven't got it with me or else I would quote it, but I'll try and paraphrase it. He said, basically, the BBC is very seductive, but he warns him to be very careful. Because Pat Kenny said that he in the past has done work for the BBC quietly. Quietly.
Yeah, do you work for the BBC quietly?
How do you do that on radio? It's not easy. You just say nothing. Here's me working. Do you want to hear me working with the BBC quietly?
All right.
Have a listen. How did you think I did?
It was excellent.
Thank you.
There's a wee call for you.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Good morning. Hello, how are you?
Okay, Gerry. My name's Alan. Tell you about this, Gerry. I found a little blue budgie this morning in the Whitehead area, and I was just wondering if anybody has lost it.
How did you find it? Did you find it kind of settling on a bush or what?
No, I actually had seen it yesterday. It was flying down into the garden, and I tried to catch it. And the day I sort of started like a wee trap, a wee box with a wee bit of wood under it,
good
with a bit of cord, and I was able to catch it.
Good man.
So,
is there a wee gold ring on its foot or anything?
Nothing, no, it's just a wee blue budgie.
naked blue budgie.
It is indeed.
Did you try the usual procedure?
I have.
By going,
you know.
by what's the usual procedure?
I just went to the phone the police, and then I went round a few of the doors and.
No, the usual procedure is you go, Chewy.
Oh right.
Chewy. And see if it reacts. Try that before you do that. You went to the police and everything, did you?
I tried them. I phoned them as well.
All right then. So whereabouts is the wee budgie, and where did you find it?
Out the back. I call them. I live in Whitehead.
Whitehead, okay.
Yes, the Whitehead.
You told me that before. Sorry, my attention span is not what it should be.
Right.
Okay, so a blue budgie, naked in all ways, found by a man yourself in Whitehead.
Yes.
And you're interested to know if anyone will claim this blue budgie.
Yes, take it back.
All right then. What?
No, sorry, could I hear again how you caught it? Because it just brought back memories there to me. Go on. Would you ask that?
There's a man here wants you to tell him again how you caught the budgie.
Oh, right.
It brings back memories to him.
I got a box, and I propped the box up with a piece of wood, tied a bit of string, and put some seed underneath it.
You're right.
And then once the budgie went under, I pulled it away and caught it.
Had you to wait long?
About 3 hours.
Yeah, I see. That's why I asked. Because we used to do that. I don't know. Do you remember doing it, Gerry, when you were a wee boy?
I never did anything like that.
Catching the pigeons.
I was too busy sitting at home reading Shakespeare.
We used to do it with the bin lid.
That was later during the Troubles when the army was raiding.
The bin lid. You get the bin lid. You put the bit of stick.
Army, David!
Did you never do that? You must have tried to catch pigeons.
No. I always thought that the words of the air should run free.
You let them go again. That's what you did. You just trapped the pigeon.
I never interfered with nature anyway.
When we used to get the pigeon, we were always afraid then to go and lift. It was a big dare who would go over and lift the lid. And then once you lifted the lid, of course, the pigeon flew away.
Can we move on here?
No, but it's just brought back memories to me. That's
good to be bringing back memories.
You didn't do it, you see.
No, I didn't do that because I didn't have a conventional childhood. Nobody liked me. Only the girls liked me. And the boys, it's still the same today. The boys don't want me because they sense that I'm strange. I never played boys' games. I always gravitated.
Funny enough, we were talking about you on Saturday night.
Who was?
I was with a group of
men.
Yes.
What are these men saying about me?
And Alan, I was up in the Derry City Social Club on Saturday night, Alan.
Pensioners' paradise.
And we were standing yapping, and we discussed the usual matches that afternoon, and blah blah blah, this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
And then one fella turned around and said to me, he says, "Can you not get that man Anderson to go up here some night?" I said he would die. He would die in here, so he would. Too many men. They said, "There's not like no." I said, "No, there has to be scantily clad girls."
That's right. I can't function without them. A lot of men with big trousers on them, all
Yes.
talking about football and saying, "Get up out there," and farting and everything.
Yes.
No, I can't have that about me. Anyway, see, I'm not a man's man. You know, I never have been. I don't know if it's good or bad, but maybe I'm. Well, maybe. What
How do you feel about that, Alan? Are you a man's man?
Are you a man's man, Alan?
Oh, I'd be a man's man.
You see, I couldn't talk to you.
No.
If I went to your house, I'd have nothing to say. Anyway, listen, we'll try and get an owner for you of the budget you've so kindly looked after.
That's great, Jai.
And you've obviously got a good heart.
Oh, we have indeed.
All right, then.
Thanks for your help, Jai.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Poem here.
People don't understand that about you. You really don't.
No, they
They
don't.
keep asking me, but this, like, when you bring him up, as if take you by the hand and bring you in. You know what I mean? When you bring him up here, somebody for a bit of crack.
They don't know me.
I said no. I said there's no
They don't
way.
know me.
No.
I can't do that, no.
No.
But you see, there's something wrong with me, and this is what it is. And there's a deep psychological flaw here. Something bad has happened to me in my childhood, and I haven't isolated it yet. Why can I not talk to men? Why do I hate them? What is this? Is it my father? He never liked me either. He never used to speak to me in the street. I'd go, "Hello, Daddy," and go, "Goodbye." There was mayhem in the old folks' home when the TV set broke down, just as dapper Frank Mitchell announced Ulster's best kept town. An old codger leaped onto his feet, buoyed up on thick, strong gruel. This treatment is degrading and cruel, so very cruel. A fat old dame with a Zimmer frame spat a dummy from the pram, overturned her willow-pattered plate containing lettuce. Dodgy spam. Up leaped old Joe with fork hung low, from which pea did drip, threw away his glass of orange juice, which I hear was sugar-free. "Bring back wee Frank," croaked a man who stank of mothballs and undertakers. The old doddering skank went on hunger strike and refused to eat his potatoes. A codgeress in a momo dress completely lost the plot. She grabbed a man called Joe down below, and he didn't have a lot. Old Montana McHugh turned puce and blue and pulled his catheter out. Some spits and spots, and you know what was splattering all about. A man with a stoop, who was eating soup, swelled up like a poisoned pup. "The quicker I slurp my soup," said the man with the stoop, "my bowl keeps filling up them with a fizzling a crack." Wee Frank was back, and he made the old folks frown. Apparently the best kept town in Ulster is nowhere to be found. A three-legged table cannot wobble, as all three legs are on the ground at all times,
No,
however.
I said a three-legged table that should have 4 legs. That's what I said.
A three-legged table cannot wobble, as all three legs are on the ground at all times.
It's an occasional table.
However, a four-legged table can wobble if the 4 aforementioned legs are not of equal length. Please continue with your above-hyped table studies. So what did you say?
I said it wobbled like a table with 3 legs. It should have 4.
No, I don't think you said that. I think you're clawing at.
I'm not.
You're clutching at straws here.
Right.
All right. Okay.
Right. Go back. Go.
Okay. Sean, tell me about Jackie's program.
Did you not see it? He was sitting in front of a table that wobbled like
a three-legged table.
A three-legged table that should have 4 legs.
Oh, I see. Okay, that was it. A student's wallet was lost in Derry, Stoke Londonderry last Friday evening between Foyle Street and Bishop Street.
Why do you find that so funny?
I don't know. It just tickled my fancy. You just described yourself as a sympathetic soul, said Michelle, but boy, do I need a sympathetic ear right now. This morning I wasted half an hour of my life. You must have been listening to U105. We left 1 minute too late to leave my kids to the bus. Usually when we arrive at the end of the road at 8:04 a.m. and the kids get out, the bus doesn't arrive until 8:07 a.m. Wonderful timing. This morning, we were a few yards from the end of the road at 8:04 a.m. and saw the bus flying past. We had to follow the bloody thing for 8 miles to the school. I was fit to be tied, was tempted to overtake it and then slam on the brakes. But it's my son's first GCSE today. Didn't want to upset him any more than I already had. Suffice to say, he's got a few more words in his vocabulary. A gentleman says, I partially watched the Eurovision with one eye on the TV and the other on a rather interesting fly that had not read its job description and insisted on walking on the floor for an extensive period. That sounds like more exciting than the Eurovision Song Contest. I have to make a confession here.
Willie's on one.
Is he? I intermittently watched the Eurovision. I went out
I didn't, thankfully. Not one.
I went out to a very nice place for a bite to eat, and every once in a while I'd go and watch a little bit for 5 minutes or so. So I got a feel of it. And what I
You
felt...
went to an eating house with a TV? Someone's house?
No, a restaurant.
With a TV?
No, when you went to the loo, you see, you went through the public bar. He deliberately did so. I mean, there are TVs in places, you know.
Not eating houses.
Restaurants?
Yeah.
No, but sometimes there are other compartments in a restaurant whereby people like yourself sit and drink and watch television. They're called bars. They're called lounges. I partially watched the Eurovision with one eye on the telly and the other... Okay. I find the results the most interesting, as the ladies reading out the results are a rare reassurance that out there somewhere, glamour still exists. I thought so too. There's some fine-looking women. True enough, each female announcer was well turned out and dressed in the finest couture until the presenter said, "And now for the results from the UK jury." Sure enough, it cut to the girl that does the One show, the Christine Bleakley lookalike. Did you ever see anything like that? It's as if they cloned Christine out of a sausage machine. It's amazing.
Can I tell you?
What?
For the first time, I watched the One show.
Isn't
But
it
I saw it. It was on because Jackie was on at 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
It was on late at night. It was on after 11 o'clock or sometime.
The One show was on at 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah, on BBC Northern Ireland. It was on very late at night.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And therefore you saw it?
Emma watched it as well too. It was just the strangest programme.
It's horrible.
Because 1 minute they were talking to, I didn't see a star, 1 minute they were talking to Ringo Starr.
Uh-huh.
And then they just cut away from Ringo and they go into something completely different.
No, because they thought people get bored, you see.
Then they come back to Ringo and they say, what was that about?
It's the forced jollity. It's the forced bon ami that you can't stand. Well, one would have forgiven for thinking that they patched through to her webcam as she lounged on her sofa in her most casual of casuals. Made me proud that the Good Friday Agreement allows me to disclaim any Britishness at my convenience. Hope you're all well. That's a man who feels as if that young lady let us down by slovenly dress and indeed not seeming to care. We don't like that kind of thing.
What about Willie?
Saw you on TV on Friday night, turkey neck. Can't believe how cool you looked in your wee leather jacket. It knocked years off you. Did you meet Barney the car salesman? No, Barney wasn't there. Barney never showed. He never turned up. And even if he had turned up, he wouldn't have been wearing the jersey. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. How are you? Sorry, I don't know
Hello, Gerry. How are you?
I'm fine. I don't know your name or else I would have used it. How are you today?
Willie.
Willie, of course.
I told you twice.
Stop picking on me. What can we do for you, Willie?
Well, you had a great debate there very recently about how to measure a man's inside leg.
Well, this was instigated by Mr. Coyle's past profession. He used to get a hell of a kick out of measuring men's inside legs.
That's what I want to tell you is a system for a woman to measure a man's inside leg without any embarrassing contact.
Or hanky-panky, we call it here.
Or hanky-panky, yes.
Well, tell me about it.
I'll tell you how you do it.
Oh, how a woman measures a man inside his leg?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Get the man to sit in a chair and measure from his waistline down to the chair, which would probably be 10 or 11 inches in most cases.
Yes.
From his waistline down to the chair.
Let him finish.
I want to know where your waistline it starts.
Let him finish.
At the top of your trouser waistband, it starts.
It's the waistband, Sean.
Yeah. From the waistband down to the chair. And then get the person to stand up and measure from the waistband right to the end of his trouser leg. And subtract the first measurement. And that gives you an accurate inside leg measurement.
But you see, the reason I ask, some men have big high-up trousers.
Yeah, well, it depends on how they want them.
But see, it doesn't matter how high their trousers are. You're going to subtract...
It doesn't matter. That is known as the rise in a pair of trousers. In the trade, it's called the rise. The difference between the outside leg and the inside leg.
It's the rise. You should know that. You used to measure men all the time.
I want to ask Willie this. Willie, do you by any chance... Have you ever seen Gerry Anderson?
I have. And I heard him say he was 32 inside leg, and that's the biggest lot of nonsense ever.
Thank you.
I'm sticking to that.
Thank you.
I know what my inside leg is better than anyone else. I have to live with it every day, and I know it's 32.
Sean, before you'd be 32 inside leg, you'd need to be about 6'19".
That's right.
Yeah.
I would say he's about at the most 30, 29 and a half, 30.
29 or 30, yeah.
I'm sticking with 32. I'm proud of it, and I'm staying there.
Yeah. Listen, before I go, can I tell you another wee anecdote before I go?
Go ahead, please do.
the firm that I starved my time in when I was very young.
You starved your time in?
Yeah. It was an old established firm with old established wage structure. And the man who owned it told me a story that happened during a wartime, before my time. You'd remember it all right. But during the wartime, when stuff was impossible to get, there was this and anything you did have, you had to keep it for your regular customers, you know.
Yes.
So this regular customer came in one day and says, Mr. So-and-so, have you got one of those Donegal tweed caps that I always wear? And he only had one cap in the house.
Yes.
And he went up and he got it, and the man tried it on, and it was too small for him. No, he says, it's too tight, I couldn't wear that. Mm-hmm. So my friend took it and went away up. I'll see if I have a bigger one. So he took the cap and he went away up into the back room, and he got the cap over his knee, and he gave it a good stretch until the seams cracked in it. And he brought it back down and he handed it to the customer, and the customer tried it on. That's perfect now, mister. That's perfect, he says. Couldn't be better, he says. And I tell you what I'll do. I'll take that other one as well. My brother. That really happened. What did you do? I just had to tell him the truth at the finish up.
Yeah, see, that customer was ahead of the game. You see, he knew that the guy had done that with the same cap. He knew it was the same cap. Oh, that was brilliant. Yeah. So you're a man.
All the best, Gerry.
Yeah.
All the best, Sean.
Thank you.
Right,
all the best. That's a man. You could talk to that man for a long time, because after all, you measured man's inside legs for years.
I measured her inside.
Yeah,
leg.
Before the police found out.
I had my hand on your.
Stop. News coming up.
On 92 to 95 FM.
There we are. That's something for everybody. That's a very interesting song there. That's, of course, Blackbird by the Beatles. That's Sean Keane from County Mayo, of course, Irish singer. And the interesting thing about that's from an album by George Martin, where he played his favourite Beatles songs by the people he thought would be better singing them rather than the Beatles. And he picked up on the fact that Paul McCartney sang that originally. And did you realise whenever Paul McCartney sings Blackbird that it's very Irish?
No.
The way he sings it, Blackbird. Because, of course, three of the Beatles were Irish, Liverpool Irish.
Were they? Well, McCartney, I thought, but who else?
John Lennon and George Harrison.
Were they?
George Harrison's gone. He was from Dublin. Three of them were Liverpool. The Beatles were three Liverpool Irish and a Jewish guy who had a black soul, who drummed like a black man. That's the secret to three Irish people and a person who drums like a black man. That's it.
I was thinking.
And the reason why, sorry, I hate to interrupt you.
Yes.
But George Martin actually picked up on the fact that song is a very Irish song, so he got an Irish guy to sing it. That's John Blackbird singing "The Dead of Night." It sounds great the way he sings it. It sounds like an Irish tune, Irish medley. And before that, we had, of course, something for everybody. Miles Davis from an album called Porgy and Bess. That's called Summertime, of course. And before that was a mashup featuring Gnarls Barkley, Supertramp, and Rockwell. It was called Crazy Logic. And one man wants me to play another mashup, and I will do. There's one called with George Michael and the Killers. It's a mix of Careless and. What do you call that song? Human? Only Human? Whatever it is. I can't remember the name of it. I'll play that in a moment.
I was watching the Bee Gees story last night.
Don't you think the Bee Gees should stop now?
I don't know.
Do you not see it? I saw the end of it when the two of them were left. There's only two guys left.
They came across nice fellas.
Nice fellas, but see when they're sitting singing, the two of them now, singing,
no,
it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work.
Especially the Barry Gibb.
Well,
Barry isn't Barry the oldest one?
Is he the thin fella?
No, the tall one. Who's the little fella?
The very thin face fella. I don't know. Morris.
Morris is dead.
Morris is dead.
Morris is dead. Robin's the one who sings like that. And Barry, but they should stop now because there's only you have to be a certain age and you're singing. There comes a time you have to stop that.
But one of them.
Yes.
Was talking last night about this guy that they met, their sort of George Martin type of guy who taught them all they knew. But anyway, this guy was talking about the bass player.
Yes.
And I thought about you last night. He was talking about it, and he said, he thought he could play the bass until this guy showed him what to do and simple things. And anyway, but he says he got me playing just slightly behind the beat.
That's right.
And I says, that's it. That's what Anderson was talking about.
That's right.
And he said, and once you master that, he said, just play, just just straight behind the beat.
You're away.
It made a whole difference to the whole everything.
Once you've got that, you've got it cracked. In 99.
It's just words to me. I don't know what they mean. What it means actually. Like, I wouldn't know if you played somebody playing behind the beat. I wouldn't know. You know, you said.
The one to listen to, the perfect example of listening to that, if this is, of course, drummers, is Superstition.
You were saying that, and you got us listening to it. I could hear it when you pointed it out to me, but playing a bass, I don't think I could.
No, it's very hard to hear that.
I wouldn't.
99 out of 100 bass players would have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
But it's only the one guy who does know. And you can tell the difference with him. Anyway, let's not go down that ethnomusicological road.
There's a man.
Sean, tell Banty Legs that I saw him with Jackie on BBC TV and Jackie chased him.
So he did.
Did he?
Jackie said to me, I'm bored with you. Yes.
Has Gerry given the wee fella his leather jacket back? You see how cruel they can be?
I thought it was a nice wee leather jacket.
Well, so did I, but what do I know? Why didn't you ask Chrome Dome about his flick over? Get stuck into him, Sean.
You see, I didn't.
But see, I don't have a flick over.
No, you don't. No, you have a big pushy backy.
Pushy backy, big hole in the middle. I don't have a flick over. What is the name and artist of the These are text messages, which look at me reading them.
Yeah, no.
It's not like me. What's the name and artist of the electronic song that you like but don't know why you do? Ha ha ha. It has a fast spoken part. It's called Welcome to Tomorrow by Snap featuring Summer. Gerry, was the Budgie naked as a jaybird? Sean must have been a big fan of Dick Dastardly, as he seemed to have spent his childhood playing Catch the Pigeon. Saw Anderson on Going the Distance. Boy, did he look rough. You see, you wouldn't want to have a big ego in this programme.
No.
People tear you down. Gerry, could you get a hold of Geordie on the phone and ask him why a pheasant would bury her young chicks live?
What?
Gerry, could you get hold of Geordie on the phone and ask him why a pheasant would bury her young chicks live? From a Glen Abbey listener who's obviously seen this kind of behaviour. I have no idea. Maybe there's maybe you can kind of, maybe a pheasant would come to some position whereby if there was some kind of predator around, they could actually protect their children, their chicks,
I know what you're
by
saying.
putting them underneath the ground. But, plenty of room to breathe, but the predator wouldn't see. Maybe a hawk or something. I know they have. Do you see as many hawks in your life? Have you been out in the countryside walking about?
No, we've got them out in the golf club.
Hawks everywhere.
Well, they're some sort of hunting.
Buzzards?
I think they might be buzzards.
Did you ever see as many in your life? They're queuing up for the mice. The mice are going, Jesus, boys, you hardly go out at all these days. I was walking down, I heard one mice saying to the other, you can hardly go out. The fella said, why not? I'm like the buzzards. Jesus, boys.
It's dangerous putting their wheelie bins out.
I'd go, and the mouse said, I go for a walk there every night about 7. I can't do it now. You'd be whisked up there net. And you end up now, them chicks pecking at you, and them nests. You don't want to end up with them. I have no head for heights, I'm happy down here, swooping down, grabbing you and bringing you up there. Maybe sometimes they drop you on a rock to break your head.
We were watching something on BBC 4 last night too. It was Safari. Did you see it?
No.
Yeah, the guy takes you around, actually up in the hot
I
air
read
balloon.
about that. That's the man, the actor.
Aye.
I tell you, he's from Mungangaligangi or somewhere.
That's right. And,
what's his name?
And my wife said to me, she says, "Would you like to do that?" And I says, "No, I don't. I think I'm past."
I think you're past
no,
everything.
wild animals. Seeing wild animals, I'd be afraid to see tigers walking past you because they would turn on you.
This is great, Sean.
What about the call?
Yes, I'll take that now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Sean is afraid he'd walk past a wild animal in case it would turn on him. See, this is a fear as old as time itself. What can we do for you today?
That wouldn't be the least of his worries if he were really watching himself. No, Gerry, Sean was on about, you were on about trapping budgies, and then there was a really nice intro there, but you just got into Bee Gees and sort of you spoiled it.
I know.
About blackboards.
Yes.
I have a poem by a man called Moses Haggard, the Bard of the Boglands. Have you ever heard of him?
Yes, I have indeed, yes.
I only come across him very recently. There's a collection of his poems published by the South Loch Ness publishing people.
Yes.
But included in them is a great poem about the very activity that you're on about there.
Oh, I'd like to hear that.
It's 5 verses long, so do you
Go
want
ahead.
to give me all of it?
Go ahead. No, do the whole thing.
Oh, very good.
Take your time so that people can hear the words.
Head on. It's called The Boys and the Bird Creel.
Go ahead.
In winter, when the nipping frost makes toes and fingers numb, when larks and linnets storm-tossed to the oat stubbles come, then 'tis at night by the turf fire, a likely lad and fair, with toughened fingers hard to tire, throws dull and loop and snare.
Excellent.
In the far corner where the flakes shine in the ruddy glow, another boy a bird creel makes, bent trigger, fork and bow. And these, the wattle, creel and snare, soon as the morn comes, are both set out in places bare of everything but crumbs. Woe to the linnet golden green, or the rosy breasted grey, or yarlin pressed by hunger keen that lightly hops that way. When comes the cry, the joy of joy, quick, quick, the creel is fell. The wild delight of those two boys, no words of mine can tell. Sometimes the trap is slyly set, where briars loose and long are haunted by some charming pet once cherished for a song, from the thick hawthorn where she dwells, or from the holly bush, our roasted spud, so fine it smells, will often draw the thrush. And when a bigger prize the boys in snare or bird creel take, the timmer tingles with the noise the happy laddies make. No haystack round the Milton dulls the young bucks ring and shout when he puts in his hand and pulls a skirling blackboard out. Too oft, alas, they snare the lark, the minstrel of the skies, and it, poor thing, in prison dark, full soon will drop and die. Ah, little the two brave boys, ah, little think the two brave boys, the warm turf fire beside, the trapper never yet had joys, but some poor creature died.
Beautifully read. Beautifully read. Isn't that lovely? I enjoyed that tremendously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerry. Thanks for listening to it.
Oh, that's lovely. Thanks.
That's Moses Haggard, and what do you call? He's got brilliant stuff in there. What do you call? Written around about the turn of the century, 1900s or thereabouts.
Well, the listeners keep an eye out for him. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Right. Good luck.
Excellent. Goodbye. But that beautifully read.
Yes. The only thing that spoiled that was the clicking of your mouse as you were reading your emails.
You like doing that, don't you?
Oh, we can hear you.
Exposing my... But I was listening to him. I'm multitasking.
There's another call.
I can read my emails and listen to poetry at the same time. As a matter of fact, it's very rarely I can listen to anything on Radio 4 because usually I've got a method, for listening to on Radio 4. What I do is I put it on. So there's some great programs on. The best program on it is on every Sunday. It's Richard Attenborough. Sorry, excuse me, David Attenborough Life Stories. You know what he was talking about yesterday? About chimps. Just 10 minutes talking about chimps and talking about, how close they are to us and why. It was fantastic. David Attenborough, Life Stories. Check it out on iPlayer. It'll be on for a week. But there's very little I can listen to on Radio 4 because it annoys me. And I have this test. Whenever if I'm driving, I put on Radio 4. I always listen until somebody says, "Surely not." And then I turn it off. I've never listened for more than 3 minutes.
His brother that you mentioned apparently is not well.
I know that.
Dickie.
I remember interviewing him one time. He did a movie out called 10 Rillington Place. I interviewed him about that. He was...
It's a long time ago.
But do you know my favourite... Oh, a long time ago. But
surely not.
Surely not.
I didn't mean to say surely not. I did not mean to say that.
I switched you off. Look there. I turned you off. That's what I do when I listen to Radio 4.
I didn't mean to say that.
But the best thing...
That must be... Was that not the 50s?
Surely not. Surely not. But no, I think it was a remake.
Was he not the murderer in it?
No, I think he. Emma, would you check that on Google, please? Would you check 10 Rillington Place?
10 Rillington. He was the doctor.
No, but I think he made a remake of that. I'm not quite. Emma, would you check that? We're on about maybe 90s.
That's amazing that you should talk. That you should.
I should talk. It's amazing that I should talk.
No, that you should mention that because when I was out walking on Saturday night. I was reenacting that, and I was going to ask you to do this. Do you remember Brona Gallagher was to give us acting lessons?
Yes.
And I wanted to play the part of Tom Courtenay. He was in it, wasn't he?
No.
Well, what do you call the fella that was in it?
I don't know why I'm asking.
I wanted. Is this not the film where the fella and Gerry, they're just married and they live up the stairs in a tenement building, and he's downstairs and he's a doctor. He was struck off or something, and he carries out abortions. Is that not that film? Is that?
I don't know. I want Emma to check it for me.
Well, see, I wanted Emma to play the part. I wanted to be. I say it was Tom Courtenay. I wanted to be Tom Courtenay, and I wanted Emma to be my pregnant wife, and you be you be
the man who lives down
Dr.
the stairs.
Crippen.
Crippen, thanks for that. Thanks for that Crippen part.
Yeah, but it's a good part.
Mm-hmm. Emma, did she check? What's she doing? Did she do it, Jen? What's wrong with her?
What do you want? She wants
What do I want? 10 Rillington Place, the film 10 Rillington Place. Yeah. When was it made?
What do you want to know about it?
When was it made? For God's sake.
1971.
Oh, what was I interviewing him about?
Yes, you were very young then.
No, I interviewed him in 1994 about something like that. It was another movie. It must have been some kind of remake.
But what's the film about, Emma?
It's all right. It's okay.
There's a man on too.
I know that, but also the most interesting thing.
Tom Courtenay in it.
The most interesting thing about that was Richard Attenborough. What was the best part he ever played? The best part he ever played was in Dr. Dolittle.
John Hurt. Was John Hurt in it? That's who it was then. John
People don't listen to me at all. I may as well be talking at the wall here.
John Hurt. That's who it was.
When? 1971?
No, but you see, there's a great scene in it. There's a great scene in it whenever, if it's John Hurt, he comes into the wee apartment in front, and his wife is there, who will be Emma, and she's sitting crying, and she doesn't know how to tell him.
Tell him what?
That she's pregnant.
Because
there's no money. So Emma has to be a very emotional part to me, you see. And then he delivers the line, I don't understand it. How did it happen? You see?
All right.
And so he just can't understand it, how his wife is pregnant.
Without any, how's your father, is your mother still working?
Yeah. And then she gets Emma becomes very emotional.
Does she? For Emma?
Yes. And then I say, leave it with me, I'll go and see Crippen. I'll see Crippen, I'll go down the stairs and see
me downstairs.
You see, and then I go down and I knock at the
door.
Hello,
darling.
And you open it. No, you just look through a wee crack in the door.
Hello.
And I say, I wonder, can
Crippen
you help
here.
me? Can you help me? It's my wife, you see.
I believe you're from Wales. Tell me, I'm Dr. Crippen.
Well, my wife, you see.
I believe your wife is pregnant without any particular reason.
How did you know? I didn't get telling you.
No, I was listening through the walls. I believe that there's no how's your father, nor is your mother still working. And you don't seem to know. Let me just play a little request for you. For Madeline in Warren Point, who's having a baby. Similarly, she's had a baby too and doesn't know where it came from. Her husband is quite puzzled.
There's a call for you, Crippen.
The best part that Richard Attenborough ever played was Arthur about poetry, and he speaks like that. Here is a little bit of W.B. Yeats for Pamela Scanlon from Warren Point, and he does that. And there was a man reading poetry, and you want to hear his voice, and you want to hear the way he was reading the poetry. And I waited until it was a horrible program, but I waited until the end of the program because I wanted to hear every single word that man said. It was an actor, and he was reading the poetry. It was that kind of voice. This is the Stephen Nolan show, and this is the off switch. You know, that kind of voice.
Yeah.
But he was wonderful, and then at the end it said, poetry read by the late Pete Postlethwaite.
Ah.
It was him. Fantastic. Hello, good morning. Hello. Is it 1 or 2, Sean?
Well, we're on 2, Sam.
Thank you. Hello. Hello. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, doing fine, Gerry.
Thanks.
I've just listened to the two of you talking there. That's a nice accent Sean give for the Welsh accent.
It's very good, yes. I thought so.
I thought it was good. I
Yes.
think it's one of the most attractive accents in the British Isles.
Yes, indeed, it is.
It's lovely. It's like musical.
It is indeed like musical.
You know.
It's a very, very up and down, you know.
Yeah, you're good at it too.
It's very like Cork. The Cork accent is like that, you know. People in Cork talk like that, a little bit like that.
Right. Do you think there's any connection there?
Well, I've explained the peripheral theory before, haven't I, Sean?
You haven't. No.
Moving smartly.
Billy is talking through Sam. You're talking to Sam.
Excuse me.
Billy is talking through Sam.
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, I'll explain it to you, Jerry.
Yes. Okay.
I'm going to tell you something I want you to see if you can find for me.
Yes.
But I'm speaking on behalf of someone else. Now, I spoke to you last week.
Yes.
For a mobility scooter.
Oh, yes, I remember that, yes.
Well, I got a result there.
Did you get one?
Yeah, well, I got 4 calls and he got one.
Really?
Now, he had to travel a bit for it. He had to go to 5 Mile Town for it.
Did he have to pay for it?
He did, but we didn't mind that. He got it at a good price.
Oh, that's okay. That's the main thing.
5 Mile Town, he got it. There were 3 down in Derry.
Ah, right. But you had to pay for those.
Well, they were too far away from him. But he got that 5 Mile Town was quite a bit from him, but he got one.
But
anyway.
he's got one. That's good.
He got one. Now, he's looking at something else. But before I say anything about that, I was listening to this ongoing conversation about your inside leg measurement.
Yes, I know it.
And I could think of 3 ways that this inaccuracy could have occurred.
Yes.
1, somebody cut about 3 to 4 inches off the tape.
It could be. That's a possibility, yes.
2, The fella measured from the ground instead of from the ankle.
Indeed.
Or 3, they just couldn't count too well.
Or the fifth one is I may have been wearing high heels.
That's another possibility.
Which is something that is
no
not...
way I can visualise you with a 32-inch inside leg measurement.
Well, if you buy a pair of jeans that says 32, 32, what do they mean?
Well, I swear they are. But
yeah,
when you
but they're all rolled up around at the bottom of your ankle.
If I look at a pair of jeans and it says size 32, 32, I know that's my size.
Yeah, but if it doesn't sit evenly in the top of your shoe.
Yes, they do.
You put a turn up on it, you fold it up, and it's all scrunched up around your ankle.
Look, see these jeans that I'm wearing now? These expensive, wonderful jeans that I'm wearing now? They're a perfect fit.
Emma says jeans shrink in the wash.
Well, these jeans here are 32, 32.
They're not.
Do you want to look at the label? Do you want to look at the label?
It might say, does it say 32 regular?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean 32, 32.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
It does.
No, it does not.
But Gerry,
No,
could I say something there?
Yes.
I've never seen a 32-inch leg on jeans. It's usually 31, 33.
You haven't lived.
Yeah.
I'll show you my leg. Right, what do you want else for this man?
Well, he's looking for a wee driving pony.
A driving pony? What's that?
Well, it's a wee pony that's been broke in that you can put into the shelves, a wee trap, and take her out for a run.
All right, then, okay.
12.2 to 13 hands high.
That might be a harder thing to get.
Well, that's why I'm going to you.
Uh-huh, okay. 12 to 13 hands high?
And good temperament.
Uh-huh, all right.
Something that's not going to shake up every time a car passes it.
Does he want a wee small pony? You know those wee Shetland jobs, or the wee, what do you call them, the miniature ponies?
Well, that's why I'm telling you 12.2 to 13 hands high. That's its height.
You see, that helps, Gerry. It's like it's
very easy to be
It's like a horse's inside leg.
I once, up near, in Donegal, near Moville, there's a herd of those. A herd. And I used to drive up just to look at them. And I used to drive up in the summer, and I used to just stop, and there was this particular field, and there was about 15 of them, miniature horses, and they all used to run around, and it was the most wonderful sight I've ever seen. I used to go there regularly just to look at them. And sometimes they'd come over and, and kind of sniff you, and then they'd go away immediately. But that's probably, is that what he wants?
Yeah, so you see, he used to break horses himself.
Yes.
That's getting them ready for putting them into the shelves and that. But
and he obviously can't do that anymore.
Now, you're saying, so he's not able to do that sort of stuff.
All right.
So that's actually why he got the mobility scooter, because he doesn't get away as well now.
Sure, of course.
So it has to have good temperament and broke in. That's how we driving pony, he calls it. And about 5 to 6 years old.
Okay, a driving pony, 5 to 6 years old, 12 to 13 hands. Okay, all right, that's all we can do, and we put that call out. Anyone out there who knows where you can get a horse like that, anyone who's got a horse like that for sale or whatever, it's 08459 555 678, and whenever we hear anything, we'll get straight back to you.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerry.
And I have a 32 inside leg. Go away.
You check that.
All right, then I will.
Go 29,
all right.
31, 33.
Ah.
You don't get a 32.
Pussy. Hold on a second, I'm fiddling with my thing here. Why do I have to do everything myself?
His name's Billy.
There we go. Great shows last week, kid. Great shows which proved beyond all reasonable doubt that migraines do not respond to dancing naked with the cut-out figure of Jim McAllister. Well, of course, we knew that. It was only a matter of, working it out. And Tommy, my cat, ran down the stairs wearing a cream linen jacket, white trousers, and cried, "Anyone for tennis?" "Shut up, Brideshead Revisited," I roared. "Folks around here don't go in for all that highfalutin, rootin' tootin' cream teas in the village, green kind of rubbish. Folks around here are hard, metal, hard and gritty, fallen women lying everywhere. Orphans abound, and there's trouble at mill. The spindle polishers, dolphin spinners and shuttle grommets are out on strike. Not a wheel will turn at the mill till the workers get another farthing a week. And gruel with the added ingredient, real gruel. Well, bend me over and spank me for the copy of Fox and Hound," said Tommy. "Won't those illiterate, dirty, ricket-legged paupers ever be satisfied?" "You're hard, Tommy," I said, "hard as flint. But think on, the day is coming when workers will unite and people like Alex Maskey and Edmund Poots will sit in Stormont Aye, sitting Stormont lad, with mufflers round their necks and hobnail boots on their feet. You can't keep the working people down, I yelled. Power to the pandas! Tommy took a pinch of Plumbridge snuff and said, and what will happen when the workers become the bosses? Simple, I said. We will hire asylum seekers to do our work for a pittance and then lord it over them. If it looks like a plan, said Tommy, and swims like a plan, by thunder, it is a plan. Heat up last week's soup, I growled. I'm going for a kip. Think on, think on.
Is there a call there? A call? No. Okay, I'll pass that on to Mr. Anderson. Okay, all right now. Bye.
There's no need to call me Mr. Anderson in front of strangers.
But I was on the telephone.
I know.
And the lady was very nice.
Was she?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have to talk to her now?
Oh no. There's someone else on the phone.
Is there?
It's John, apparently.
Apparently so. All right then.
Are we humour or are we dancer? The man wants you to. Can you explain that?
I can't really. It's just no, I can't really explain that. I'd only be guessing if I did.
Yeah, because he said because the dancer is spelled D-A-N-S-E-R.
How does he know that?
He's got the lyrics in front of him.
And it's spelled D-A-N-S-E-R?
S-E-R.
Well, ask what do you call her in there? Ask her to Google dancer, D-A-N-S-E-R, and see what that says.
All right.
See, I don't know about that kind of stuff.
No.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
what the fella said. I don't know. I'm going to pass that on to you.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never think about what lyrics mean in songs because they don't usually mean anything. Even Bob Dylan admitted that half his lyrics didn't mean anything. He just liked the sound of the words. You know, so a lot of people sit down and pore over lyrics. They're wasting their time. They're just looking for things that rhyme. Who's on the line here?
John.
Good morning, John.
Morning, Gerry.
How you doing, John? Okay?
Listen, not too bad yourself.
I'm trying to learn how... Do you know how to say how you doing the way Hugo does? Let me try and do it. How you doing? Can you do it?
No, sure.
Go on, do it.
I don't. Me?
Go on, try it.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
How you doing? No, it's different now. How you doing? Is that it?
I don't know.
How you doing? Let me try it again.
I've got my own problems.
Go on, try it. Well, how would you say how you doing?
How you
No, in
doing?
vernacular.
I'd just say, how you doing?
No, you're too cool.
I'm not. How
No,
you doing?
how would you say how
Hello,
you
how you
doing?
doing?
By
How-
being enthusiastic and almost surprised and curious at the same time, the way Hugo does. How you doing?
I'd have to say, all right.
How you doing?
I'd have to say, all right, first.
How you doing?
All
How
right.
you doing?
All right, how you doing?
That's
Hello,
no
how you
good.
doing?
Pussy. No good.
That's
How you doing? That's it.
Why would I say, how you doing?
Because that's the way Hugo does it, and he makes it sound good. How you doing? Anyway, never mind that. That's one of those things that we'll probably get into after the programme. Good morning, sir.
Yes, Gerry, listen, you were talking about, there's 2 points actually. You know that David Attenborough thing we were talking about?
Yes?
You know that's, were you listening to it yesterday?
Pardon?
Were you listening to yesterday morning?
Well, yesterday, I wasn't listening yesterday morning. I listened to it yesterday afternoon, but so I assumed it was the one that was on yesterday morning about chimps.
No, well, it's actually on a Friday evening and a Sunday morning.
Oh, that's repeat on the Sunday morning. Yes, the only time I get to hear it's a Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, it's been on for a few months. It's absolutely the best bit of radio I've heard in a long, long time.
Absolutely. There's, I think there's 12 or 13 or 16 of them, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's been on for a while. But secondly, Gerry, I listen to Radio 4 on Saturday afternoon too, so I'm guilty as well. You didn't hear the thing on Saturday afternoon about actually they were doing George Harrison?
No, I missed that.
It was either called Kings of the Lick or Kings of the Whack. I'm not sure now.
I'm not quite sure. It was on Radio 4, was it?
Yeah, and it was. I didn't know George Harrison was actually the lead guitarist of the Beatles.
Did actually what? Sorry, I can't hear that properly. Is that breaking up a wee bit? Sorry.
I didn't know George Harrison was actually the lead guitarist.
Yes, well, of course he was.
I didn't know that. I actually thought it was Paul McCartney.
Oh, no. No, Paul McCartney did play guitar very well, actually.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you can hear that particularly well on those records by what's that one? Band on the Run. The Run. He plays a lot of lead guitar on that because when they went to Africa to do it, Henry McCullough left them.
Yeah, it was Wings.
Yes, with Wings, and before and when they got there, actually Paul McCartney played a lot of the guitar on it, and it's brilliant.
The argument on Saturday afternoon was, do you know the start of "It's a Hard Day's Night"?
Yes.
No, the riff, or that's what the argument was. Was it a riff, or was it? You would know better than me. I know little about
that's okay.
guitar playing. The way there's like the theme.
Yeah.
I think they were calling it, and then one is like a riff.
Oh, you mean that solo? That solo.
Yes, the first notes.
Well, are you talking about the solo? It's a very complicated kind of a solo thing.
Yeah, it was like, but the argument was it we were.
Oh, you're talking about the chord at the beginning?
Yes.
Oh, the chord at the beginning. Oh, yes, I used to know what that was, because I used to play that. I think it was a ninth, I think it was.
Over an F with
yes,
something.
I can't remember what it was, but it was a peculiar chord. It just starts going bling. It's been a hard day's night. That's right,
That's the one.
It was a ninth with an added something.
That's what the whole argument was about. They had Gary Moore on. They had.
Well, it's hard to get Gary Moore these days.
Yeah, I know it's been a repeat.
I know.
But even he couldn't get it, and he was actually in a was it a hotel room in America with him? And he played it for him, and he went, "Is that's the exact notes?" And apparently George Harrison went, "No." He says, "Well, are you sure?" He says, "Well, I think so anyway."
Well, would he not show him?
No.
Well, maybe he didn't like Gary Moore either.
But I thought this me, if anybody will know, it'll be his lordship.
All right. No, I don't. Well, I think it's a G9 with an added something.
Right, they were going with a 4 or an A, or I have no idea.
I think it's a ninth with a suspended fourth.
I have no idea.
But I'm only guessing, but I think that's what it was.
Well, maybe you'd put the iPlayer on, or not the iPod, no, their thing.
iPlayer, I'm going to have a listen to that, yeah. I'll have a listen to that today.
Brilliant show.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.
No problem at all.
Thank you. Here's something you might like. Here's Dad's Army with drum and bass.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, no, it's not. It's this, sorry. As I say, something for everybody. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Not too bad, how are you?
I couldn't be better, thanks. If I was any better, the police would be sent for me. How are you today?
I wanted to ask Sean a question. A few weeks ago, while you were away holidaying or working elsewhere,
yes,
there was a chap on the radio explaining to him the lyrics of Little Old Wine Drinker Me.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The first line I always assumed was, I asked the man behind the bar to play the jukebox.
Yes.
And this guy said, no, that was not the words. And he explained to Sean what they were, but I just can't remember what
well, I'm sorry to say, I'm glad to say that I missed that. So maybe perhaps I could hand you over to Mr. Oracle himself.
I can't remember.
I asked the man.
No,
behind the bar.
I want the man. I still
you
asked
can't
them.
remember, Sean.
I asked
can
them.
you not?
I asked.
I urged the man.
No, I asked.
I urged the man.
No. It was something like he gambled with him. You know.
It's not. It's this. You know what you do? Put out 2 fingers or something like that, or 3 fingers. Wait a minute. That's.
I bade the man behind the bar.
I
bade the man.
I matched the man. I matched the man. I matched. You know that. You know what? Whatever it was, some sort of thing to do in America. You ever see them doing that? Putting it.
That's
you
right.
Put your fingers closed, and you
put
putting 2 fingers out or 3 fingers out.
That's whatever. Right. Yes. Scissors.
I matched the man behind the bar. That's what it was.
I matched the man behind the bar. That's excellent. Thank
listen to him now. Listen to him. Oh, he's bored now. I'm sorry about that, Jackie.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Typical. What do you expect from a pig, Buddha? Yes,
or a grunt.
A grunt. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's sorted out. That's good. Excellent. That's good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, right, Jackie.
You're a gentleman and a scholar. Thank
you. Gordon's on too, by the
Is
way.
he?
Apparently, a man got out of a bath to tell you it's a G11th. Does that make sense to you? Does it?
Yeah.
Chord, a G11th.
Well, I can't remember. It could well be.
Another person says it's a D major 7th.
Ah.
We're getting all sorts of conflicting.
No, it's not a
reports.
D major 7th.
Well, does G11th sound right to you?
I think that was it. Was that not an economic summit?
I don't.
It's G11 sounds. G11.
Paris.
G11 sounds good, yeah.
222.
The train imitations again. Hello, good morning. You're doing the impersonations again. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Sorry, you had it.
This is Gordon McClanahan here.
Yes, Gordon.
You were on there about that chord there with Hard Day's Night.
Yes, do you know what it is?
I have it in the music book here in front of me.
What is it?
It's a G7 sustained 4.
Isn't that what I said?
Yes.
Isn't that what I... No, I said a G9 sustained...
You said a sustained 4, but it was a G7
You said suspended. Is that the same thing?
I said suspended 4th.
Mm-hmm.
You said G9th suspended 4th.
That's what I said, yeah.
But it's a... Well, that means nothing. It's a
G11 sustained 4th.
G7 sustained 4.
I always thought the SUS was... I thought it always meant suspended.
There you are.
It's sustained. Now I find that out.
Yes.
I used to think it was suspended,
all right.
a suspended fourth.
That's okay.
And when you play a chord and you put it, that's what Bach used to use it all the time.
Yep.
Sebastian Bach used to use it all the time. Anyway, is that what it is?
That's what it is.
I wish I had a guitar. I wish I had a guitar now.
There's actually 12 chords in the song.
Is there really?
Aye.
I can't remember it so far back.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember sweating blood trying to get that. I remember getting something that vaguely sounded like it. I think it was a ninth with a suspended ninth or a sustained ninth, fourth. Anyway, never mind that. That's musical stuff. Thank you for that. There are guitar players all over Northern Ireland taking out their guitars now and having a slap at that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know how much people are interested in particular guitar chords. I'm not quite sure we're going down the right road here. I think maybe perhaps we're boring a lot of people, which would be, well, nothing unusual, I suppose.
I know, I thought that was rather interesting because it makes
thought it was
sort
too.
of playing the guitar seems quite difficult.
Yeah, because especially a chord like that, which was such a famous chord, and people who would want to know what it is, wouldn't they?
I think so.
I think so too.